Hi Capricorn, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly horoscope for the month of October. This has been such a big year for you because we've been in this unprecedented year of the historical lineup of planets in your sign. And we've had transiting Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in your sign this year. Big restructuring, collapsing of old paradigms, and rebuilding and renovation on the world axis because Saturn, which rules your sign, met up with Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, on January 12th at 22 degrees of your sign at the world axis. So that hits every one of us, and certainly you more than any of the signs. And it's been falling in your first house of self, and a lot of rebuilding and restructuring and major beginnings and endings in your life. And this has been further enhanced by the fact that for the last couple of years, the eclipses were also in the Capricorn Cancer axis. So the South Node eclipses were in your sign, and that's what we're meant to release. And in your house of self, and then the eclipses in Cancer in your house of relationships. So a lot of change in those areas, a lot of rebuilding and restructuring. So now we're dealing with this fall, Mars retrograded on September 9th at 28 degrees of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And we've been dealing with that Mars in Aries really since June 27th, and it will be until January 6th. It's retrograding in your house of home and family and emotional foundation. And Mars retrogrades once every 2 years, and it's a personal planet of how we take action, how we tap into the courage to charge ahead. And it loves being in Aries. It rules the sign of Aries, but it hates being held back, and it's clashing with planets in your sign, and that makes it even more challenging. And Mars in your house of home and family is not the best placement when you've been dealing with so much reconstruction this year. And so it's hard to find your needs and get them met. And it could be that, you're holding things in internally, or that there's maybe a little bit of anger or a lot of action at home. And again, we've all been dealing with confining circumstances, so that wouldn't be surprising. The good use of it would be to tap in to what you're feeling, because it is the fourth house is the emotional foundation, and trying to figure out on how you can release all that you've been working with this year, all of the pain and the anger. And Mars retrograde is a good time for doing shadow work, particularly when it's in the sign it rules, and it's, meeting up with all these planets in your sign. It's a big deal. And everybody I know in some way is feeling depression and or anger. So I think it's a good time for all of us to work on that. People will be a lot more triggered, a lot more hostile, a lot more rude. So knowing that and having empathy, but also taking care of yourself. So we begin the month on October 1st with a full moon in Aries that falls in your house of home and family, and it occurs at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 9 degrees of Aries, and it's conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. And that's a good full moon for doing healing work. Put your crystals out, try to purge what you're feeling, and maybe it brings completion to something you've been working on at home. And again, it's good that it's conjunct Chiron, I think, to let go of some of the wounds we're all feeling. On the 2nd of October, Venus enters the sign of Virgo, and it enters your house of higher learning and education and promotion and publicity. And it'll be there until October 27th. And that's a really good time for promoting yourself if you have your own business, but publicizing yourself, taking classes. If you're looking for a job, it's an excellent time for promoting yourself on social media, and definitely for taking classes and webinars, and for seeking some adventures. And on October 4th is when things get a lot more heated up, because Pluto stations direct at 22 degrees of your sign. And Pluto is the other main player of the year. Saturn and Pluto hadn't met up in your sign for over 500 years, and that is the conjunction that changed the world. Collapsing of old structures and rebuilding, and you have been doing it in spades. So we have Pluto stationing direct We can expect power struggles with that energy, major endings. Perhaps we get more information about the pandemic. It's going to be very combative type energy. Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, so it will be Mars energy even heightened, you know. And then we have on the 8th of October, Mars gets to 22 degrees of Aries, setting off that Saturn-Pluto conjunction from January. And then the following day, it squares Pluto in the sky. So again, very belligerent type of energy. Lay low, focus on trying to do meditation, staying home if you're able, doing some inner work, not to sound Pollyannic, but doing meditation or manifesting things to give you comfort, because Mars retrograding in your house of emotional security probably is not giving you as much comfort as you would like. So you're going to have to try to, in Capricorn form, work for it in a sense, which you really shouldn't have to work for comfort. But this is the type of year we're in. So doing it with love and empathy for yourself and others, but definitely turning within. And we have on the 10th of October, Venus in Virgo forms a beautiful trine to Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is transiting in your house of creativity and love affairs and romance and self-expression. And that can be very innovative and creative energy for projects. It can be good for romance and love affairs. Could be a good day for dates. So that's a nice day to target. On the 11th of October, we have the Sun in Libra in your house of career, forming a square to Jupiter in your sign. And that could be just a very busy day, excessive, a lot going on. On the following day, we have a really beautiful energy. Jupiter forms what's known as a sextile. That's an aspect of opportunity when one planet forms a 60-degree angle to the other. And so Jupiter is going to form a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is transiting in your house of communication, thoughts, and ideas. And it's a really good manifesting energy. Jupiter is the vision and Neptune is the dream. So focusing on what you want to manifest, because although you've been dealing with so much restructuring, major endings and major beginnings in the last few years, and certainly this year, a lot of challenges nonetheless, you know, but with the Capricorn energy, you also need that to anchor what you're manifesting. So people undermine the fact that Capricorn energy can also be useful for manifesting. It's not what we equate with it, but you think more of Jupiter manifesting the vision and hopefulness, but you need Saturn to contain it. So use this to manifest, and Jupiter is in your sign right now. On the 13th of October, we have Mercury going retrograde. And so Mercury retrogrades at 11 degrees of Scorpio in your house of friends and groups and networking, and it stations direct on November 3rd at 25 degrees of Libra. And this mirrors exactly when Venus retrograded in the fall of 2018. It retrograded on October 5th at 10 degrees and 50 minutes of Scorpio, and it's stationed direct on November 17th at 25 degrees of Libra. So it could be that old friends from the past come up, old acquaintances, people maybe you went to school with, maybe old co-workers, and maybe there are things that come up for you professionally that you're reviewing when Mercury does re-enter your house of career at the end of October. But it will be interesting too, because it is mirroring the Venus retrograde from 2 years ago. And on the, let's see, on the 16th of October, we have a new moon in Libra that falls in your house of career, and it occurs at 3:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's at 23 degrees of Libra. A new moon is always a time of setting new intentions. So for you, it's really about, you know, setting intentions about your professional goals. The 10th house is the Capricorn house in solar astrology. So really, you know, focus on what you want to accomplish. This new moon is challenging. You know, it's a bit of a combustible new moon because it's forming an opposition to Mars That's in your house of home and family. And Eris, which is the goddess of discord and the sister of Mars, the warrior feminine, is also forming an opposition to this new moon, and they all form a square to Pluto. So there could be some challenges with that energy, and a bit chaotic, but it could help to get us going with things we want to get done and accomplish. So use that new moon to set intentions for your goals on the 16th. On the 18th of October, we have the Sun in Libra in your house of career, forming a square to Saturn in your first house. Not a good day for really getting what you want to accomplish. And then Neptune forms an opposition to Venus. Neptune in your house of communication and information. So perhaps something deceptive comes out. Maybe you find out some information. Not a good day to partner. On the, let's see here, on the 22nd of October, the Sun enters the sign of Scorpio, where it'll be until November 21st, and that's in your house of friends and groups. Again, a good time for socializing and networking. If you're looking for a job, the 11th house deals with social media and the internet, so it's a great day for, a great time rather, for networking in all forms and for raising your social media. And we also have, let's see, on the 27th of October, Mercury exits Scorpio. It's still retrograde, but it re-enters the sign of Libra. And on that day, and into your house of career, and Venus, the planet of love and beauty and grace, enters the sign of Libra and your house of career, where it will be transiting until November 21st. And that's excellent for dealing with other people, for doing public presentations. Maybe you're doing things, maybe you're doing presentations on Zoom. It's good for making a good appearance. It's also good for negotiations and working well with other people. And we have a full moon on Halloween on the final day of the month that occurs at 8 degrees of Taurus, and it's conjunct Uranus, the planet of surprise and chaos, and that falls in your house of romance. So maybe there's an unexpected date that night, or maybe there could be an unexpected breakup. With Uranus, expect the unexpected, but it will be a wild full moon exactly conjunct Uranus. So it's going to be intense. It has been already. You're a very hardworking sign, and you are aware of the karmic lessons of Saturn all too well. So, you know, charge ahead, but do it with review and restraint. And I wish you a lot of luck, all right? Take care. Thank you.